So is CNBC biased in their reporting? I'm not talking about political bias, all right? So I'm not going to go there. But what I am going to talk about is on CNBC, when they talk about financial matters, is there bias in the reporting of financial information? And the answer is yes, there is. Not just CNBC, and it's not just CNBC, but other outlets as well. But there was a recent study highlighting headline bias in the financial media. So I want to go over this with you, show you what you're consuming and how you should be aware of what's going on. So the study looked at headlines over the past almost a year and a half, starting in early 2018, and looked at headlines and see how they were correlated with the S&P 500. All right, so they created an index for each of the S&P 500, CNBC, and the Wall Street Journal. And so they assigned a score. So a positive +1 is if there's a positive headline. Okay, Dow jumps nearly 300 points to a record high. Or if it's neutral, stocks little change with tech sector in focus. Or was it negative? CDC chief warns U.S. headed for impending doom as COVID rise again. Right now I'm scared. Right, so that's where they started in looking at these headlines, and they looked at over 508 headlines and looked at an index for each of the outlets. So this is what they came up with. So you can see the S&P 500 is the blue line here, right? And headlines for the Wall Street Journal correlated about 57%, and then the correlation for CNBC was just 28%. So what you really need to know is, what are you consuming? So you can see that the headlines are not really reflecting what's going on in the market. They are not correlated to what's really happening as of right now. And so you can look at what are some of the words they're using in their headlines. And here's a word cloud. And these are, again, 508 headlines and some of the words most often used in these headlines. So for CNBC, the headlines were fall, beat, drops, hikes, lower, losses, jump, wild, worried. And the Wall Street Journal is a little more balanced, and they still use fall, rise, ease, strong, rebound, surge, right? So fears. So there was a mix, a greater mix, closer to neutrality with the Wall Street Journal than there was, and certainly with CNBC. So the bottom line is, you really need to know what it is you're consuming and whether it is biased or not. Because these negative headlines promote fear. Fear induces stress and anxiety. Stress and anxiety result in poor decisions, causing you to buy or sell or panic at the wrong moments, when in fact that is not really what's going on in the market. So should you get rid of these? Should you not watch? Should you not listen? Well, we've talked about noise before, and sometimes the answer is just shut it all off. But if you're going to watch it, be aware of what you're consuming. Is what they're saying biased? Is what they're saying factual? Is it supported, or is it just opinion? All right. Hope this helps get rid of some of the noise out there so that you can have a more stress-free, worry-free life and achieve the wealth that you want and deserve.